All right, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is well rested from all the sleep we get at retreats. Yeah. Got a special treat for you guys this morning. Those of y'all that were in senior camp this year have already had one experience with them, but all y'all are about to get another one. I have the pleasure to introduce a guy that I've been getting to know over the past few years, who I've come to really respect. I really enjoy him. He's always a lot of fun to be around, even whenever he's trying to scare the mess out of me because he snuck into the church building and I didn't know it. Yes, he has done that on more than one occasion. But he's always got a good attitude and always something positive to say, and I know he's gonna have something that you guys all listen to. So give it up for Mr. Jon Conway.
Yeah. I know that guy. Hey. Good morning. Morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Is everybody well rested? Yeah. Listen, I'm running on fumes this morning, so a little energy levels is down a little bit. Who remembers the class I taught at camp this year? Right? Well, if you remember, can you tell me what was it that I taught on? Something about seeds, right? Yeah. And then what did I say about that? Like not waiting, right? Planting our seeds, getting involved, and not waiting for the perfect moment to do that. Throwing our seeds everywhere. Everyone remember that? We're throwing our seeds everywhere. Not trying to figure out if it's the right time or if the time's perfect, all right? So this kind of ties into that, because if you think about after we've come back from camp, and maybe we've tried to apply that in our lives as we've come back, right? And we've run into some things, right? We've run into obstacles, or it's not kind of being discouraged by that. Well, today we're going to talk about a new lens. So seeing like God sees, right? And our objective here this morning is to better understand the two greatest commandments. Examine how our self-view impacts relationships and explore what it means to see others and ourselves through God's lens. All right, so I'm going to have a couple pictures here. And when I throw the picture up, blurt out the first word that comes to your mind. All right? The first word. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, I got to turn it on. Go. Ronaldo. Go. More. All right. Next one. Anything else? Down. Homeless. Down. Help. What? Needs help. Something else. Hungry. Money. Shelter. Uh-oh. Outer space. Emo. Pretty. What? Colorful. Pretty. Emo. What else? Huh? Interesting. Beautiful. What else? Chinese.
Library.
What? Library. So I heard, hold on, I heard nerd, library. What else? Woman. Huh? Smart. Student. All right, ready? My wife. Give me something. Famous. She's mine. What is it? Masterful. What else? Give me another good one. Huh? Famous. Masterful. Rich. All right. All right, hold on. All right, listen. All right, listen. So we got all these pictures that pop up, and the first thing that pops in our minds, the first thing we see, right? So why do you think we make these instant judgments, whether it's good or bad? Somebody. Oh, I thought you raised your hand. You don't have to raise your hand, just spit it out. Why do you think we do that?
Because it helps our brains classify what we see to understand it better.
Okay, helps our brains classify to see what we understand about it. Good answer. So, if you think about it, we've all got filters, right? We all have our lenses, we all have our filters. And these are the way we see things, right? The way we see the world. And it's all shaped by our culture, the media, our own insecurities. But it's how everything's shaped. It's the lens that we see through this, right? It's how we see the world. But Jesus calls us to see through a different filter, right? Does he not? It's through God's lens. Matthew 22, 36 through 40 says, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" And Jesus replies, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments." If you could boil the Bible down to two sentences, would these work?
Yeah.
Yes? Everybody in agreement with that?
Yes.
Jesus says everything God wants for us hangs on these two commands. It's kind of like the hook that holds everything together, right? It's really not that hard, is it? It's love. It's these two commands. Loving ourselves, loving our neighbor as ourselves. So, loving God. Let me ask you a question here. And you don't have to raise your hand, just jump in. What does love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind look like for you as teenagers? Fred? You didn't even wait for the question to finish. He's like, I got the answer. What's it look like?
Like spending time with him, like getting to know him better.
Okay.
Telling people about him.
Anybody else? So how can we do this better in our daily life? In school, in our sports communities, with our friends and our relationships? How can we do this better in our daily life? Could we choose time better in His Word instead of endless scrolling? Now I want you to remember, I remember when I taught this, when I taught the lesson at camp. As I was putting this together, a lot of it was an eye opener for myself. It's all, us as adults, your youth ministers, your parents, everybody is dealing. We continue to struggle and try to get better. And as I'm putting this together, it's opening my eyes to some things that I can get better on, right? So it's not just, I said teenagers, but it's all of us, really. Everybody's sitting in this room, right? So could it be choosing time better with in God's Word versus endless scrolling? Probably, yeah. What about praising Him in moments that are good and bad? Can we do that? I see heads shaking. Yes, that's good. What about talking to Him like He's one of our closest friends? Yeah, definitely, right? That seems to be kind of difficult for us to understand at times, doesn't it? Actually talking to Him like He's one of our closest friends. So the main point I'm trying to get across here is that loving God fully, it's about letting Him shape our priorities, our attitudes, and our actions. Would you agree we all need work on that? Adults in the back, would you agree that we all need work on that? Everybody up here agree?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, right? We can constantly be working on that. The second command here is loving others as yourself. So, think to yourself, I want you to think here, how do you see yourself? Do you think that affects how you treat others? Yeah? Does that make sense? How we see ourselves, does that affect how we treat others? If we don't believe that we matter to God, we can't genuinely love others as well. So if we have a problem thinking that we matter to God, it's very difficult for us to love others as well. So it's something that we've got to work on internally. Understanding that we matter. Regardless, we all have our flaws. We all have our struggles that we go through. But regardless of what those struggles are, we all still matter to God, right? Do we not? And if you remember yesterday in Morgan's class, he was talking about being called by name. Well, God says we matter. So we need to see ourselves as He sees us. Chosen, loved, and valuable. Even in our flaws. Because in our flaws, He wants us to come to Him, doesn't He not? All right. Raise your hand if you know somebody in your life right now that is hard to love. Keep your hands up. Can you think of somebody right now who's like, man, that person's hard to love? Keep your hands up. Now, what happens if you start viewing them as God's beloved child? You can put your hands down there. Think about that for a second. What happens when you start thinking about that person as one of God's beloved children? Does that change things a little bit? Is it kind of an eye-opener? How might that change your words with that person? How might that change your patience with that person or with your life in general? How might that change your ability in forgiveness? Do you think that does? I see heads moving. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Key takeaway from this, what I'm trying to get through on this part here. We put God's lens, we start looking at the world through God's lens. Every person becomes someone worth loving, even when it's not easy. And if you think about that right now, does that still seem a little difficult? Yeah. It does, doesn't it? Even when we're trying to think of that, because some people it's harder to love than others, right? So even if we think, like, okay, I'm going to put God's lens on, it's going to be a little easier to love that person. I'm going to have a little bit more patience, a little bit more forgiveness. But as we sit there and think about it, what's going on internally? We talked about spiritual warfare a little bit yesterday too, didn't we? So as you're thinking about that, the devil's right there. It's like, no, don't think like that. Don't think like that. That person's still not worth this or that. Right? And you feel that internal struggle. Like, I don't want to love that person. They're hard. I don't like that person. But it's that practice of putting God's lens on, right? Of making it to where it becomes easier and easier. You ever notice how there's some people in your life like, man, that person gets along with everybody, right? And it's in my opinion, I think it's because that person is well versed and well practiced in putting God's lens on. So, a little application here, right? As we leave, as you get ready to go back, some of y'all about to start school. Some of us started last week. Once a day, pause and ask, how would God see this person or this situation? In other words, practicing putting that God lens on and changing our view, right? Once a day, whatever the situation is, putting that God's lens on and looking at the situation through that lens. And the more we practice, the more we do that, a little bit easier it gets at doing it. And as you do that, treat yourself and at least one other person through that lens every day next week. And maybe it will get easier. Maybe it'll take a little bit more time. Maybe I'll have to do it a little more often. But if you challenge yourself and really take it serious and like, I do want to get better. I do want to make it easier, because you'll start to understand it as you do that. It's less stress. It's less inner turmoil that you go through when you start to be able to things don't get to me like they used to, right? So, in closing, if you actually lived this way for 1 week, what would change in your relationships? Just thinking, you don't have to answer it. If you actually did this for 1 week, what do you think would actually change in your relationships? What do you think it would actually change about yourself? What do you think it would actually change about how you view yourself or how you view others? Just practicing it for 1 week. And I'm willing to bet that it would continue on and take it into 2 weeks. And then as you do that, you start to see that Satan will try to attack you and try to keep you from doing that. Let's say you make it through a whole week and you do it. And then day-to-day life happens, Satan's going to come in and he's going to try to stop you from doing it, keep you from doing it. Because he doesn't want you to put that lens on. He doesn't want you to love others as you love yourself. He really wants you to love yourself as yourself, doesn't he? Just love yourself, that's it. Don't worry about others. So, yeah, in closing, like I said, if you actually live this way for 1 week, what would change in your relationships? And pray for God to help you see through yourselves and others with His lens and to love accordingly. Thank you.
Everybody's still awake. Yeah. Real quick, John, Matt, Jake, Morgan, you guys did awesome this weekend. Can you guys give it up for them? Couple of things real quick. First off, I need a volunteer here for something real quick. Where's Trenton Martin? Come here. I'm gonna pick on you for a minute. Give him a round of applause. Yeah. All right, come here. I need you to stand right here. I need you to listen to what I have to. Did you stop recording?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you don't.